again.
Let's talk about my studio build. All the things that I'm super glad that I did and all the things I really wish I would have done different. 1 year review of my studio build. Let's go.
Activity card is not recognized.
It's rude.
Please insert it again.
It's rude that you're interrupting.
See, this ceiling cloud is 8.5 by 11 foot. And what I neglected to think about is that I had the builders put the power right in the middle of where I wanted the ceiling cloud. Now, unfortunately, this means that I can't get to the power now that the ceiling cloud is up. Luckily, I have it on these chains and turnbuckles. I can lower the ceiling cloud down and kind of fix things when I need to, but I really wish I would have had them put the power right at the edge of the ceiling cloud where the camera is. Whew, it's warmer up here. I wish these outlets would have been placed somewhere differently. I wish I would have put them all kind of in the same spot, so that way all the cables could have run in one nice neat little pattern right to one particular spot on the wall. Instead, I spread it out. I thought it'd be cool to just have access points all along behind the workstation, and I wish I would have done that different. Ugh. This fabric wall system might be my favorite thing about this studio. So for those of you that don't know, this is all fabric and it's 100% acoustic treatment, and it's a stretched fabric over the acoustic treatment. It just looks so clean and it looks so pro. It's one of my favorite things about this studio build. So this room is 26 by 24 with 12-foot ceilings, and so when I first got in here, especially because of the shape of it, it sounded like an echo chamber. It was literally like a reverb tank. And so I knew I would have to cover at least 80% of the walls in order to get the sound under control, and so the fabric wall system actually was almost a more affordable option than making enough panels to cover this entire thing. Now I get a lot of comments about 100%, or in this case like 80% acoustic treatment. People think the room would be way too dead. But because this room is so big, and because there's a hardwood floor in the entire room, and the entire front here, we've got the big window and we've got all of this rock right here, the room isn't actually all that dead. It just sounds really, really good in every spot in the room. These doors are only 32 inches, and we built this place from scratch. It would have cost literally no more money to put 36 or 40-inch doors in, and that would have made a world of difference with all the doors getting into the studio here. I wish I would have put bigger doors in. Everyone always asks me about this window and how much it screws with the sound of the room. And I actually just made an acoustic curtain for this window, and I'll link that somewhere in the video here. So after 18 years of spending every single day in this room with no windows in different studios, I just decided that I really didn't care what compromises a window would give me. And I thought that the increase of inspiration and stamina and creativity, I thought that the boost of all of these things would far outweigh whatever sonic problems a window gave me. And so when we built this place, I just decided I didn't care. I'm having a window. And that was absolutely the right move. Fortunately, this new place is at the end of a very quiet cul-de-sac in a very quiet neighborhood, and so there's not really any issue with sound traveling through the window from the outside in or from the inside out. And going into this, I knew that if it ended up being a problem, I would just replace it with a soundproof window. So I opted to let the crew put in just the regular window when they were building our new house. But so far, it's not necessary, and every single day I'm super pumped that I've got a window to look out from the mix position. So if you watched my studio build video, and I'll put a link right here, then you know that the idea for this corner of the room was for there to be a booth here in which we would track vocals in, acoustic guitar,
electric guitar amps, whatever. But when I built this room, I only had about 100 subscribers on YouTube because I just wasn't doing anything here on YouTube. And I'm incredibly grateful that that has now changed and YouTube has actually become a pretty big part of my day-to-day life. Now, I've said this before in other videos, but I actually genuinely prefer tracking vocals in the room with me, right next to the monitoring position. And I've worked in tons of big studios, and even my own last commercial studio back in Illinois before I moved to Nashville, I would track vocals in a booth or in the live room while I was in the control room. And I've just gotten to the point where I honestly prefer it better tracking vocals with the person 6 feet away from me. It's so much easier between takes to like sing them what I'd like them to do and communicate with them. It's just so much better. And so between preferring to track vocals next to me and this YouTube thing starting to become a bigger part of what I do, I think this corner is just gonna become a second shot for here on YouTube. Maybe I'll set up a little podcast table. Maybe I start a podcast. Who knows what the future holds. Moral of the story is I've officially decided to not put a booth in this corner. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it gave you some ideas on what you'd like to do with your studio, or if you're getting ready to build a new studio. Hope this gave you some insight and some ideas on things that you would want to do, or at the very least, I hope you had fun watching it. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon next to the subscribe tab, give me a thumbs up, and drop me a comment. Help the algorithm out. All those things really help the channel out, and it means a lot to me. Don't forget to hit me up on Instagram at ColtCaparoon, and check out my website, ColtCaparoon.com. Links in the description for all the videos that I talked about in this episode, as well as there's links for everything. All right, see you guys in the next one. Peace.